Hey everyone, welcome back to Infosmart Solutions. In today's video, we are going to explore 15 important Python list questions. By the end of this video, you will understand how to solve these list questions with confidence. Let's get started and make Python lists super clear. So, these are the questions that we will be discussing today. The PDF of this is in the description below. You can download it from there. So, let us read the very first question, which is write the Python code to find all elements that appear more than once in a list. So as you can see the test case, the list input by us is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. And the question said to find all elements that appear more than once. So you can see 1 is written twice and 2 is also written twice. So 1 and 2 are answer and it is added in a list and printed here. So let us start. Our first task is to input the list. So to input the list, what we will do is first we will name it as my list. Then we will take input, enter, can be a prompt. As you can see, all the three are integers. So we can take here integers as our input. First, let us split the input. For example, if we give it as 1, 2, 3, then this should be considered as a different element, this should be considered as a different element, and same for this. So we have written here split. Now if we want every element to be an integer, then we can simply write here map int comma, and this parenthesis should be closed here. And after that, we need to add all the elements to the list. So it will be list and this. So if we just see, let us enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 are considered as a different element and as an integer, and they're added to a list, and the list is printed here. Alright, so now let us get back to our question. Our question says to find all elements that appear more than once in a list. So what we can do here is we can make a new list, and we can make one another list in which we will append the elements that are repeated. So we will use the follow for x in my list, that is x will take the values of the elements of my list one by one. Then we will see if x is not in new list. Then we can add it in new list, and we'll put another condition, that is else it will append in repeat list. And then we can print this repeat list. So what basically we have done here is we have seen that if an element in my list is not in new list, then it will add it in new list. Otherwise, if it's already there in new list, it means that it is occurring more than once in that list. So then it will be appended in repeat list. And then we have printed this. Let us see if this works. Okay, there's an error that I haven't written x. So if x not in new list is the correct code, if we write 1, 2, 3, 2, and 4 and see, then you can see 2 is the output. If we write like this and some random list, then you can see the answer is not correct because 2 is written thrice. If you see, this is the correct output, this is also correct, but here 2 is printed thrice. when we have written this 4 times, and this is why, because let us just see for x in my list. So our list is this. First x will be 1. So x is equal to 1. Then if x not in new list, so new list is empty right now, so x is not in new list, so it goes to this condition, new list dot append x. So what happens in new list? New list has an element 1. Else so else condition is not followed because this one is a true condition. Then it went again to for loop, and we can see x is 2 right now. So x is 2. Then if x not in new list, so it's not in new list, so it will be appended. Alright, then it again goes to for loop, and this time this 2 is there. So 2 is there in new list, so it will be appended in this repeat list. So repeat list has an element 2. Now when we see this again, this 2, so now x will be 2. It's not, it's already there in new list, so it will be appended in repeat list again. And this is how this is repeated thrice. So what can we do to rectify this problem? We know that a set contains a unique number of elements. So if we consider or if we change this list to a set, then we can solve a problem. Simply if we say set repeat list, if we print this and if we print a list similar to the previous one, then you can see the same 2 is printed only once. But now the format is different. It is of a set, not of a list. So what can we do is we can convert it to a list again. So list, and now let us run this again. And now you can see 825 is the correct answer because 2 is repeated 4 times, so 2 should be here. Then 8 is repeated twice and 5 is also repeated twice. So now our answer is correct. Let us once try it with a test case given here as well. So if it's 55523, then answer is 5, it's correct. If it's 123, then the answer is correct as well. Let us see the next question. Next question is to write a Python code to remove all occurrences of a specific element from a list. Okay, so first we have to input a list, and then we have to input another element that is in the list, and then we will remove all the occurrences of this element in the list. So the answer is 1, 3, 4 because 2 is removed from the list. Okay, so to do this, first we'll have to input a list, and this time you can see alphabets are also taken, so strings should also be allowed. And one more thing, that in integers you can see here and here it is considered as integers and not as strings because double quote or single quotes are not made in these numbers. So what can we do is we can use eval. Eval is the Python evaluates itself whether it's an integer or a string or a float value like this. So what we'll do is first we'll name a list as my list, then we'll seek input, enter your list, and we'll simply use eval here, eval like this. Here how we need to input is we can just write it in the prompt only. So like this we have to input our list and eval, that is evaluate we'll see if it's integer or a string. Let us just try printing this. If we write 1, 2, 3, 4, so I can see this is printed. And if we write A, B, C, then you can see name A is not defined, and it's just because we haven't put double quotes or single quotes here. So let us just run this again, and let us write A like this, B, and C. So I can see it is considered as a string, and it is printed here. Okay, so what was the question? The question was to remove all occurrences of a specific element from a list. So then we need to input A is equal to input, enter an element of list, and then we can say if the element of the list, let us consider x, is equal to A, that is input by the user, then it should be removed from the list. So like this. And what is this x? This x should be in my list. So we'll use the for loop for x in my list. This is the method that most of us opt. And if we see a few results using this method, like 1, 2, 3, 1, so this one, as you can see, that one is not removed. If we see some other, like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, like this, we just try to remove 2. It's not removed again, and yeah, it's because that we haven't, like, you can see this is an integer, whereas if we say A is equal to input like this, then A is also considered as a string. So the string will never be equal to an integer, and that's why it's the problem. So we need to write here eval so that it evaluates the type of A as well. Now if we try this 1, 2, 3, and we say to remove 1, you can see we have the correct result. If we try with 2, 2, 3, 4, let us see if we get the correct result. So you can see we say enter an element of list. So we give 2, and the answer is 2, 3, 4. But it was written to remove all occurrences of a specific element from a list, but you can see only one is removed. If we try another example, 1, 2, 3, 1, and if we say to remove 1, then you can see the answer is correct. But as you can see, the answer was not correct in this. So if we see this code carefully, then we can realize, like, if we have taken our input list as 2, 2, 3, 1, and this A we have taken as 2. Then what happens is for x in my list, so x is 2. If x is equal to A, so our A is 2, x is also 2, both are considered as integers. So this condition is true. Then what happens? My list dot remove x. So x is removed from my list, and my list becomes 2, 3, 1. Alright, then it goes again to the follow for x in my list. Then what happens is the first element is 2 here. And in the last list also, that is in our original list, the first element was 2. So Python considered is as same and then it just jumps off to 3. So in the second round, x is 3 here. And this condition is false. So 3 is not removed. And that's what happened. And that's why if we use this method, it goes wrong with exceptions like these list. So what is the correct way? The correct way to do is we can make a new list. So let us consider a new list which is empty. And then what we can do is we can use the for loop for x in my list, and then we'll see if x and a are not equal. That is, the one to be removed is not x. Then we'll just append it in new list. Like we'll write it like this, then new list dot append. It means that all the numbers except the one those have to be removed will be appended in the new list. So then we can simply print a new list and it will be our answer. So let us run this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And let us remove 1. Then you can see we have got the correct answer. Let's try with 2, 2, 3, 1. Then if we enter 2, then you can see the answer is still correct. Let us try with this. The third test case, 10, 10, 10, and the element to be removed is 10, and again we got the correct answer. So we simply use the condition that if the number is not to be removed, then we can add this in a new list and we can simply print the new list. There is one alternate method to this using the list comprehension. So let us just understand that method using an example. So if we take my list as 2, 2, 2, and if we take a as 2, then we can simply write my list as x for x and my list if x is not equal to a. And at the last we have to print my list. So let us run this and then we'll see how this is working. So you can see an empty list here. That is, all the elements are removed because 2 was to be removed and this list only contains 2 as an element. So how this is working, that x for x in my list. So for every x in my list that x is going through this my list, if it is not equal to a, this element 2 is not equal to 2, then x, that means x will be appended. But you will think like where it would be appended, we don't have a new list or something like that. So in this list comprehension, Python makes a temporary new list and then it gets stored directly in my list. So my list is updated at the last and that's why we get the correct answer here. So it's basically a shortened version of this only. The logic is same. Let us see another question. So question 3 is to write a Python program to reverse a list without using the reverse method. Again, you can have many ways to do this. So let us try with the first basic method. First we have to input this my list and then it was to reverse a list. So to reverse the list, what can we do is, for example, if we have the list 1, 2, 3, 4, then what we can do is we can apply the for loop, and using that for loop we can say to append it to a new list the last element of my list, that is 4, and then 3, then 2, and then 1. So basically we need a new list here, and we need to use the for loop for I in range, and we need to think what will be the range. So the difference will be -1, and then from which element to which element. So if you see, it should go like this: 4, 3, 2, 1. So it should be length of my list -1, comma -1. That means that length of my list -1, which is this element, because this one is 0, 1, 2, 3. So n is length is 4. Length of this list is 4, and the index of this element is 3. So we have included length of my list -1, and we have the 2 range here as -1. That is, -1 is excluded, and so till 0th element. So from this element to this element, which is at the 0th index, because this length of my list -1 is included and -1 is excluded with a difference of -1. Let's put a colon here, and then we need to append this to the new list. New list dot append my list with index I. Then we can simply print the new list. Let us see the examples given here. Let us just copy this. And you can see it has reversed the list. Let us try with this example. So you can see again we got the correct answer. Now there's an alternate to this, and what's the alternate method? We can just directly write this range in short. How? We can put the index as colon twice and then -1. What this means is this -1 is the reference as we have written here, and this means that from the starting of the list to the end of the list. And so from the starting of the list to the end of the list, and then with a difference of -1. That means like this reverse. So if we just see this, let us write A, B, C, press enter, then you can see both the results are same and correct, because this one is also printed and this is also printed. If we try with this, then again you can see results are correct. Let us move on to the next question. So the fourth question is to write a Python program to count the number of occurrences of a given element in a list. Okay, so to count the number of occurrences, like this is 1 and the list has 3 1 in it, so the answer is 3, like this. So first thing is the same, to take input from the user. So here both are taken, so we can just see this. Now the next thing is to take input from the user of the element we need to count the number of occurrences of. So we can use eval again, eval, and then is to input, enter an element, Then we need to count the number of occurrences. For this, we need another variable count. So let us name it CNT. And we can use the for loop for x in my list if a is equal to x. Then we can increase the count by 1. At last, we can print count of a is CNT. So we just make a variable here named as count, and we just use the for loop in my list. So every element will be checked with a. If both are equal, then count will be increased by 1, and then it will be printed. So what will be a list? So let us just copy this element to be 1, and you can see count of 1 is 3. If we see the count of 2, then it is 1. Let us try with this as well. Okay, so let us say of a, then you can see count of a is 2. There is again an alternate to this question as well. So the alternate is we can simply write counters, and here what can we write is we can write the list of the name. Then we can use the count method, mylist.count, and in parentheses we can give the element a. So a is input by the user, just method count. We'll just count the number of occurrences of a in my list, and then it will be printed. So if we see this count of a, you can see both the answers are same and correct. Let us see another question. This question is to write a Python program to remove duplicates from a list while maintaining order. Okay, so this one is 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, and out is 1, 2, 3. So if it was not written while maintaining order, we can simply change this list into set and then back to list, and we can simply print it this like this. But set is unordered, and we want to maintain the order, and that's why we can't do so. So let us just take the input first. So it will be list input, enter the list dot split. Now we want to uh, just remove the elements that are duplicate. So for that we can make a new list. So for x in my list, we'll just say if x not in a new list. So first we need to make an empty new list. So if x is not there in new list, then we can simply add to that list, and at the last, well, what I pressed, and at the last just print that new list. My bad. New list. So if we run this into the list, so we can just pick the list from here. Okay, so what we wanted was 1, 2, and 3, but we got 1, 2, and 3, 1, which is a wrong answer. So let us just see what I have written is for x in my list. So x is 1. Then if x is not in new list is empty right now. So new list dot append x. So new list will have 1. let us just write in new list will have 1. Here x was 1. Now for next is x is 2. So when x will be 2, x not in new list, so it will be appended like this. Then when x is 2 again, so x is already there in 2, so it will not be appended. Now it will go to 3, then 3 should be appended, and 1 is already there, should not be appended. I hope I have commented above program. Yes. Okay. So the problem here is we have written list, and what we input right now was let me just copy this. So we have already input a list, and we have written here that whatever we have inputted, just split it according to space and then make a list again, and that's why this problem is here. So just remove this, and if we enter now, so you can see it's 1 2 3 1. Now it's perfectly, no, it's still not perfectly correct. This is because we haven't given split using comma, we have given it using space, and here we have given comma. So that's the thing, if we use different methods altogether, sometimes get confused, and but this is a good way to learn a mistake. So 1 2 2 3 and 1, if you keep it like this, and you can see we got the correct answer here. Now let us try with a comma space b. Okay, it's not required to give a double quote here because it's already considered as a string. So you can simply write ABC, then you can see ABC is printed like this. So if we write AA, B, and C, then you can see again we got the correct answer. Let's just comment this and see the next question, which is to write a Python program to find the second largest number in a list. So if you want to find the second largest number, it's easy one. We can just sort a list, and then we can print the second last element. Or if we want to sort in descending order, we can print the second element. So let us take an input of the list. So here it's talking about ascending or descending or the largest number. So number will be an integer. So we can just take input as an integer. This will be input, enter, and here I'll write dot split. So my list dot sort, and after that we can print the second last element. My list with index -2, which is second last. If we want to input the list, we can just copy it from here. Okay, there is some problem. Yeah, problem is because we took input in a different way, and here the input was in a different way. So if you want to take input like this, you can just write it my list is equal to eval and then input, enter the list. If we just run this, and then we'll see, you can see we got the correct answer here. So it's up to us how to take the input. Let us try with another example, and you can see again the output is correct. Let us move on to the next question, which is to write a Python program to check if a list is sorted or not. Okay, so in this we need to check the list is sorted. So like if 1 2 3 4 this is in ascending order, then the output is true, and here 3 2 1 the output is false because it is not in the ascending order. So let us comment this question number 7, and we can take the input like this or any way we want. Next thing is we can make a new list. New list is equal to mylist dot copy. So we are just copying our mylist to a new list, and then we will sort the new list and we'll compare mylist and new list. If both are same, then the original list will be sorted. So we'll just see if new list is equal to mylist, then we will print true, the list is sorted. Else we'll just print false, the list is not sorted. If we run this, let us see. This is our list, and the way we have input here is okay. So we have to write 1, 2, 3, and 4 like that, and you can see this list is sorted, and so this is printed. Now let us try 4, 3, 2, 1 like this, and this is in descending order, and the sorted one is in ascending order, so that's why it's false. Let us try one more. 45, 30, 329, 67 like this something. And this list is not sorted, so it is printed correctly. There's one another method. A short way to do this is first let us comment this. Now let us take input by one another method using eval. So eval, and then we'll just take the input, enter list, and then what we'll do is we'll compare my list and we will sort it like sorted my list using this. We'll just sort it. We'll just sort a list. We'll are comparing a my list, which is our original list, and sorted in parentheses my list, which is the sorted list. So instead of making a copy with a new list and then sorting it, just sorted it like this. And here we can print the same things as we have printed here. So let us just copy and then comment. Now let us run this. I've already copied it from here. No. So you can see the list is sorted. Let us say this one. So we can see this is not sorted. Let us move on to question 8. Question 8 says to write a Python program to merge two lists and remove duplicates. So like 1, 2, 3 and 3, 4, 5 are two lists. We need to merge them, and then we have to remove the duplicates. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. We merge it and then remove it duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this first we can input two lists and then we can add them to make a third list, and then we can remove duplicate from the third list, and we already know the methods for removing the duplicates from a list. So instead of taking it input again and again, as we already know how to take input, let us just directly write this. List 1 is this, and list 2 will write it like this. List 2 is this. Then what we will do is we'll write list 3 is equal to list 1 plus list 2. So we are just adding both the list 1 and list 2. We can print list 3 just to see what is it exactly. And then we know how to remove duplicates. We can make a new list and then we'll use the for loop for x in list 3. If x not in new list, I'll just append it in new list. New list dot append x, and at the last we will print the new list. Let us run this, and you can see this is a list 3 and this one is a new list, which is great. If we see the second example, you can just change this. Let us see if this works now or not. So again, list 3 is ABBC and result is EBC, which is correct. Now another way to remove duplicates can be if we just, instead of this, we can write for x in this list 1 and we don't change list 3 in the second method. So let us comment this and this. So these are two lists and we will see for all the elements in list 1 if any of the element is not in this list, then we will just add in this list. What basically I'm saying, let me write for x in list 2 or list 1, any of one of the lists we can take. If x not in list 1, then we will write list 1 dot append x, and then we will print list 1. Print list 1, and we forgot a in append, so a. Yeah. So what basically we have written here is for x in list 2, like x is b, then if x not in list 1, if b is not in list 1, it's there. So this condition is false, then it again goes to for loop for x in list 2. Now x is c, if c not in list 1, so c is not in list 1, so c will be added in list 1 and then you can print list 1. That means we have simply seen what all elements are there in list 2 and not in list 1. Those elements are added in list 1 and then we are printing list 1. So you can see the correct answer is printed. Now a better way of doing is this code is we can simply print the set of list 1 plus list 2. List 1 plus list 2 is basically like list 3 only, and we want to remove the duplicate, so using set, because set will also always contain unique elements, so we are converted it into set, and like this you can say an ordered collection of unique elements. And because here we need to just print it in a list form, so we will just write here list, so it will be converted back to our list. You can see BCA, that means the answer is correct. So let us see the ninth question now. Write a Python program to rotate a list to the right by key positions. So if we see this, k is 2. That means that 1 should be in place of 3, 2 should be in place of 4, and like this all the elements should be shifted by k positions. So k is 2, so shifted by 2 positions. So let us start. Let us assume our list, so we can take the same thing. And here k is 2 in this example. First we'll just calculate the length of a list because it will be required. Then what we will do is we'll just run the for loop in the range of this, and we'll just store a last element. and rest of the elements, their positions will be changed according to k. What I'm saying is, first we'll just move 1 and keep it in the position of 2. 2 will be kept in the position of 3, and 3 will be kept in the position of 4. 4 will be kept in the position of 5. Then where the 5 will go? So we'll store this value, and at the last we'll just keep it in this position. And this is only when k is 1, right? So we'll just use this process again and again till whatever the k's value is. So let us just start coding. So first thing we can write for j in range. So the range will be n minus 1 comma 0 comma minus 1, because this position is n minus 1, this one is 0, and it will go like this. So it will go like 5, 4, 3 and 2. This one is excluded. This 0 is excluded and minus 1 will be included. So for j in this range, we need to shift the positions by 1. So we can simply write my list with index j will be equal to my list with index j minus 1. So that means in 3, 2 will be stored. In 2, 1 will be stored like this. And then what we need to do is we need to use another loop, because this will be done only once. And also one more thing, that we need to store the last values I've already told. So x is equal to my list with index minus 1, which is the last value, and after shifting we have to restore that value in the 0th index. So my list 0 is equal to x. This process should take place the number of times we have input k. So it will be for I in range k. And at the last we have to print my list. So let us see. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So you can see all the elements are shifted by 2. If you observe one more thing, that 4, 5 has came in front and 1, 2, 3 has gone backwards. What I mean is that when k is 2, last two elements are kept in the front and all the rest of the elements are kept after that. So this is the general rule of shifting the positions, and by using this we can write an alternate code to this. So an alternate and a better way will be, we have considered a my list, we have written k is 2. If we say that our list is not empty, if my list not equal to if my list is not equal to an empty list, then what we will do is we'll just take out the remainder. K is equal to k divided by length of my list. And then what we can do is we can print the last elements at the first and first elements at the last. So let me first write and then I can explain you better. So this will be till last and this will be added to the cell. Okay. And at last we can print this. So print my list. So what basically are we doing here is, we are first saying if my list is not empty, then we will follow this. Then this is k divided by length of my list. This can, or instead of length of my list, we can just write here n. So this can be understood in a way like if you want to rotate something by 400 degrees, then we can just rotate it by 40 degrees, because we know after rotating it by 360 degrees, we'll get it in the same position. So a better way to rotate it instead of 400 degree will be to rotate it just by 40 degrees. So similarly, what we are doing here is we're calculating k is k divided by n. That is the remainder when k is divided by n. So that is stored in k, and if we see this example, n is 5, k is 2. So 2 divided by 5 has the remainder of 2. That means k is 2 here. So when k is 2, my list minus k till the end of the list. That means minus 2 is this till the end of the list. So this block is written at the first and then plus from starting to minus k, that is from starting to minus k with minus k excluded. So this block is written and both are added. So it means first 4 comma 5 is written and then uh, it is added with 1 comma 2 comma 3, so it makes a list of 4 comma 5 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 as the final answer. So you can understand it like this way, and let us see here. So you can see 4 5 1 2 3. This has been printed, and we have printed the original list as well here. So 1 2 3 4 5 was an original list, although this should be printed before this, but it's fine. If we just use here 7 and then we see the answer, then you can see this 4 5 1 2 3 is the answer. It's because 5 times. If we just shift this, we get the same list, and then it has shifted 2 times. This was a good question. Let us move on to the next one. Next is to write a Python program to get the common elements between two lists. So these are the two lists, and we need to get the common elements like 1 2 3 2 3 4. So 2 and 3 are the common elements here. X y y z, y is the common elements. So this is a simple one. We can make two lists. So list 1 is equal to, we can just copy it from here instead of putting it in again, and list 2 is equal to this. Then what can we do is, it was to get the common elements. So we can just use the for loop. So for x in list 2, if x in list 1, then we can append it in a new list. So new list dot append x, and here if you're appending in a new list, we need to define here a list named as new list. So new list is empty, and at the last we will just print the new list. So let us run this and see. 2 comma 3 is the answer, which is correct. There is one another way to do this, because it was written to get the common element. So what we can do here is we can make set of list 1 so that all the duplicate elements are removed, and set of list 2. So we have created set of both, and we have written here and operator, which means that it will see the intersection of both. So seeing an intersection of both, and then we need to print it in the form of a list, so we can convert it back to a list. and in the front or the starting we can just write print this. So let us just here method 1 comma new list, and here we can print method 2 just to see the solution of both methods. And the solution of method 2 is different. So the answers are different. Let's just use this operator. Then if we just run this, now you can see the answers are correct. So we have to just use this operator, convert both list 1 list 2 as set, then convert it back to a list. Okay, so let us see the further question now. Write a Python program to flatten a nested list. Okay, so this is our list and we need to flatten this nested list as a single list. So what can we do is, like a general idea can be, we can pick one element from this list, this element, and we can also pick this element one by one, and then we can pick each element from this list. Like if it's a for loop in this big list and we just take out this 1 comma 2 list, then we take out every element of this list and we can get a nested list. So let us just see. Let us just copy our my list from here. My list is this, and then you can print my list, and at last we'll print the nested the flattened list. So we can make a new list here in which we will be appending our elements. So as I said, we'll use for loop for I in my list, and then for j in I, we'll just append in the new list the element which is j. Last, we'll just print new list. So you can see our list is flattened. Now let us see this one. So if we see this, you can see it is not yet flattened completely because it is a 3D one, whereas the one we used above was a 2D. So for this we can use a for loop again. So for j in I, then we can use for k in j, and here we can write k, then print new list, and if we see this, you can see we got the correct answer. So like this we can use a for loop as many times as the dimensions of a matrix is, or the array. So let us move on to the 12th question, which is to write a Python program to square every element in a numeric list. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to return the square of every element, sorry. So a list is my list is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can make a new list. Then we'll use for I in my list, new list dot append, and we'll append the square of I, and then what we'll do is we can simply print the new list. So let us see, and we got the correct answer. Let us see if it will be an empty list, then what will be the output. So we got an empty list back. So this one is correct. Let us see the further question now. Write a Python program to split a list into chunks of given size n. So this is the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and n is 2 here. And the output should be 1, 2, then 3, 4, and 5 is left. So 5 is as it is, like this. Similarly, you can see this n equals to 3, and this is the list. So this is the output. So to make this, first we need to input a list. So my list is equal to, as you can see, these are all integers. So we can just use map list map int comma input, enter the list, and here we'll split, and as you see here, should be split it by commas. So here we'll write like this. So now next thing is to input this number. Usually take n as the length of my list. So here we can consider another variable instead of n. So let us consider a. A is equal to input, enter the number, and the next step is we should go we should take all the elements of my list, and then we should start a loop. So for that we can put while j is less than n. And what is n here? So n will be the length of my list. So this loop will work whenever j is less than n. And what is j? J is any random variable, so its value and starting will be 0. So we'll iterate to the list elements using this. Now the next thing will be we'll go to this like this one by one, all the elements, and according to the number input, like here it's 2, then we'll select 1 and 2. We'll append it to a new list, and that new list will be appended to another list, so that the new list becomes an element of another new list, which we can name it as new list 2, because you can see this list is an element of this outer list. So the inner one can be a new list, and this outer one can be a new list too. So let us start. We need to make a new list, so we made an empty new list here. Then we'll use for loop for I in range A, and here we'll append it to the new list, the element of my list with index j. So new list dot append my list j, and A will be input by the user, so accordingly this for loop will work. First let us write, and then we'll see. So this will be j is equal to j plus 1, and we'll can append this in a new list 2, and this new list 2 should be defined here. So new list 2 is an empty list here. Then this new list got appended as an element in new list 2. And at the last we'll print new list 2. So here is the program, but let us see if this is working or not. So we'll just provide the numbers like this. Let's say 2. Then we can see it's not working. It's saying list index out of range in this. And if we try just one more example, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this has 2, then you can see now it's working. But what's the difference? Why is it working here and why not? So you can see here the number of elements is 3, and here we wrote 2. So one of the element left empty. And this, the number of elements are even, the number we entered is 2, so all the elements got paired up. So what other condition we have to use to make this program correct? So first, let us see an example, and through that we'll understand. So let us say 1, 2, 3 is an element, then A is 2, the length of a list is 3. So as you can see here, 3 elements are here. J is 2, new list 2 is an empty list, then start with J is less than n. So J is 0, 0 is less than 3, that's true. So new list will be created with an empty list. Then for I in range A. So that means I in range 2 because here A is 2, which implies that I is 0 this time. When I is 0, new list dot append my list j. That means that new list is equal to jth element of my list. So what is j here? J is 0, as we can see this. So 0th element of my list, which is 1. So new list becomes this. Then j is j plus 1, so j becomes 1 here. Then we again go to this for loop. For I in range A, I will be 1 this time. Then this j is 1, so 1 means the element is 2. It got appended here. And then j becomes 2. And then this for loop is completed once. Then we come to this condition, new list 2 dot append new list. That means new list 2 becomes this. That is, the new list becomes an element of this new list too. Then what is our next step? So our next step is here, while j is less than n. So here j is 2, 2 is less than 3. Then new list is empty. Then for n range j, so I will be 0 here. Here, the new list will be like this because we have written this. So the new list got empty. And here it says to append my list j. J is 2. 2 means 3. So the index 2 element of my list is 3. It got appended here. Then j became 3. And now I will be 1. But if you see here, if we say new list dot append my list j when j is 3, then there is no such element 3. And that's why where if this is the problem, that when we run this 1 comma 2 comma 3, it says uh, let us run this again. So where is the problem? It's showing in um, okay, so it said invalid interval for int with this. Okay, it says because we have given the list as input. Instead, what we have to give input is 1 comma 2 comma 3, just this, and then the element is 2. So you can see it came error list index out of range. And why it gave so? We understood now that when j is 3, there is no such element in my list, and that's why this problem occurred. So what we have to do is we need to put a condition here if j is less than n. So if we put this condition, and now j is 3 as we already know, and n is also 3, so this condition is false, and that's why it will not be appended in the new list, and directly it will come here new list 2 dot append new list. So here we will get it like this. So this is the final correct answer. Hmm. Let us run this. And yeah, we need to give a tab here. Now let us see. 1 comma 2 comma 3, and this is 2. Now we got the correct answer. Let us see from some other numbers. So it's correct. Let us try with one more test case. Let us see 1 2 3, and the number is 3. Then still the answer is correct, as you can see here. So this was a good one. Now let us try the 14th one, which is to write a Python program to find the index of the first occurrence of an element in a list. Okay, so if it's 1 2 3 2, then you need to find where is the 2 lies the very first time. So it's here with index 1, so the output is 1. So we can input one list, or we can even directly write some. So we can take the input, there's no problem in this. So enter the list dot split. Then we also have to take the input of the number. For practice, we can also assume mylist and a, and at the last then we can take the input. It's all up to us. Then we'll iterate through mylist. So we'll see all the elements of mylist. If the element will be equal to this number input by the user, which is a, then we'll print the index of that element. So print question was index. Index is, and then the index using mylist dot index x. So index is this method, which method of list which you can use to print the index of an element. So let's say a list is 1 2 3 4 and 2 3 2, like this, and we want it of 2. So showed index is 1, but if you see it showed it thrice. So let us see what can we do is we can just write here break. Now let us try running the program. So list is this one and the number is 2. Then you can see our output came only once, and this is the desired output. Why we used break here? Because what happened was when this we did not write break, then this was going on again and again, and for x in minus, so it was iterating to every element in the list, and that's why it created problem. Using break, it got fine. Let us see 15th one, which is to write a Python program to check if one list is a subset of another list. So now we need to check if one list is subset of another list or not. So let us just take this list instead of taking input again and again. List 1 is this and list 2 is this. Now we'll see if we'll iterate through the elements of list 1, and we'll see if the element is not in list 2. That means that it is list 1 is not a subset of list 2. So we can directly print there, or we can use a variable like if we say flag is equal to true, and then iterate to list 1 for x in list 1 if x not in list 2, then simply we will write flag is equals to false. And here we will write if flag. If flag means that it will check if flag is true or flag is false. If flag is true, then it will print it's a subset. Otherwise, we'll just say it to print it's not a subset. So let us run this. This time it's a subset, that's why it showed like this. If we just remove this element, then if we run this, then you can see it's not a subset. If we just take it and as an empty list and then if we run this, so again it's not a subset, and if we do it like this, then it's a subset. And the last example, let us try like this, then again it's a subset. So one alternate method to this is we can write the set of list 1. That means we are converting this to set, and we will use is subset, which is the method of set. And similarly here, like the list 1, we have converted list 2 in the form of set. So set 1 list set of list 1 dot is subset set of list 2. It's basically we are checking if set of list 1 is a subset of list 2 or not. And we can simply print this. So it returns a boolean value that is true or false. So here it printed true. True means it's a subset. So we have completed all the questions of part 1 of practice paper 2. That's it for today's video. I hope these 15 Python list questions helped you understand lists better and give you the confidence to use them in your own code. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Infosmart Solutions. And if you have any questions or want me to cover more Python topics, just drop a comment below. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coding!